You didn't pack anything dangerous. You didn't ignore the rules. You packed the same items you've carried for years. And yet, in 2026, TSA stops you. An officer pulls something from your bag, an item that passed security dozens of times before. No announcement, no explanation, just, this is no longer allowed. Most travelers believe TSA bans come with clear warnings. They don't. In 2026, several everyday items were quietly reclassified or enforced differently, especially by older passengers. The mistake isn't bringing prohibited items, it's assuming the system still works the way it used to. Here are 7 everyday items TSA quietly restricted in 2026, why seniors are hit hardest, and how to navigate the checkpoint without delays, confiscations, or missed flights. Number 1. Medical liquids over 3.4 ounces, even when they're allowed. Medical liquids have always been exempt from the 3.4-ounce rule on paper. What changed is verification. Under updated protocols, liquid medications, supplements, and topical treatments now require inspection and justification on the spot. If unlabeled, repackaged, or cosmetic-looking, it may be confiscated, not because it's banned, but because the system prioritizes screening speed over clarification. Officers no longer assume medical necessity, they verify it quickly. You may carry pain relief, digestive medicine, or prescribed creams you've flown with for years. Doesn't matter. What works? Declare medical liquids before scanning. Keep items clearly labeled. When questioned, state necessity using language officers recognize. This is a prescribed medication, or I need this during my flight. Those who don't declare lose the item and lose time. Number 2, spare lithium batteries, no longer neutral items. Spare batteries used to be treated as a minor inconvenience. In 2026, loose lithium batteries, especially unpaired ones, are now classified as standalone risk items requiring verification. You're likely carrying spare hearing aid batteries, medical device batteries, or backup chargers. Individually harmless, together they trigger secondary screening. If an officer can't immediately identify the battery type or intended use, removal is the default action. TSA officers aren't required to educate you on battery specs. Their job is to keep the line moving. What works? Keep spare batteries in original packaging or labeled cases. Separate medical device batteries from general electronics. When stopped, simply say, "These batteries are for my hearing aid," and point to the device. Clear identification beats lengthy explanations. Number 3, personal tools as dual-use items. Most passengers assume TSA only worries about obvious weapons. That assumption is outdated. Small personal tools that lived in carry-ons for years are now screened as dual-use items, objects that could theoretically be used as leverage tools. You're likely carrying small screwdrivers for hearing aids, foldable nail tools, or multi-tools. None look threatening, but under newer screening logic, officers evaluate shape, density, and mechanical leverage, not just blade length. If a tool appears capable of prying or striking, it gets flagged. Once flagged, outcomes are rarely negotiable. What works? Avoid carrying unclassified tools in carry-on or pack them checked. Never say, "I've flown with this before." That history no longer matters. If a tool is essential, call ahead or pack it in checked luggage. Powdered substances. Large quantities of everyday powders, protein supplements, medical nutrition powders, or senior nutrition mixes are now routinely flagged for advanced screening. It's not what the powder is, but how much and how clearly it's identified. Unidentified powders trigger swabbing, secondary screening, and possible removal. You're likely carrying supplements for digestion or joint health, legal items, but once they exceed a volume threshold or appear unlabeled, they slow everything down. Confiscation becomes the fastest solution. What works? Keep powders in original packaging. If transferring, label clearly with product name. Proactively separate powders for inspection. Tell the officer, "I have a powdered supplement for screening." Proactive disclosure beats scanner flags. smart medical devices and wearables, glucose monitors, health trackers, blood pressure cuffs, and sleep apnea accessories passed security with little attention for years. In 2026, that changes. What changed isn't legality, but how TSA evaluates electronics with sensors, wireless transmitters, or internal batteries. Devices that collect data are now more likely to trigger manual inspection, even when worn on your body. Officers evaluate internal structure, not medical importance. If a device can't be quickly identified through imaging, screening escalates. What works? Notify officers before screening. Say, I'm wearing a continuous glucose monitor. Ask for visual inspection instead of removal. Describe the device by function. This is a medical diabetes management device, is more effective than explaining medical need. Repackaged toiletries and liquids. Size limits under 3.4 ounces aren't enough. What changed is the verification standard. When toiletries are repackaged into unmarked containers, officers treat them as unverifiable substances, even if clearly within limits. You're likely decanting products into easier-to-open bottles or reusing travel bottles without labels. Practical? Yes. Flag-raising? Also yes. Officers judge identifiability, not intent. If they can't determine what a liquid is, removal wins over delay. What works? Keep original labels when possible. Clearly label transferred containers. Group medical and personal liquids separately. Expect questions when containers look improvised. That conversation beats confiscation. Printed documents and paper. Documents aren't banned. What changed is how dense paper stacks are scanned. Tightly layered paper, especially in envelopes or folders, appears as a solid, unclear mass that triggers inspection. You're likely traveling with medical paperwork, prescriptions, and confirmations kept together. To the system, that organization looks like unidentified density. If mixed with liquids, electronics, or powders, screening escalates quickly. What works? Spread documents loosely in a tray during screening. Avoid thick envelopes. Separate paperwork from electronics and liquids. Keep the system from reading your organization as a security concern. Same flight, different outcomes. Both passengers arrive early. Both believe they followed the rules. Both are TSA pre-check members. The first packs the way they always have, medical liquids mixed with toiletries in a cosmetic bag, spare batteries loose in a jacket pocket, documents stacked tightly in a folder. Nothing illegal, just familiar and convenient. At security, the bag is flagged. Secondary screening begins. Items are removed for inspection. A liquid is confiscated. Batteries are questioned. 10 minutes become 20. Boarding starts while they're still at the checkpoint, watching their flight number on the monitor. The second passenger carries nearly the same items, but understands how the system works in 2026. Medical liquids declared and separated before entering the line. Batteries clearly paired with devices in labeled cases. Documents spread loosely in a document organizer, separated from electronics. Nothing looks ambiguous to the scanner. That passenger walks through security in under 5 minutes. Same rights, same age, completely different outcome. The difference isn't luck or favoritism. It's knowing which everyday items now trigger verification and adjusting before the system notices you. One passenger adapted, one assumed nothing changed. How to activate the rules that already exist. In 2026, understanding the rules isn't enough. You have to activate them. Before your bag goes on the belt, identify anything that could trigger verification: medical liquids, powders, batteries, devices, or dense documents. Then speak up early, calmly, and clearly. Don't ask, "Is this allowed?" That invites uncertainty and delay. Instead, say, "I'm declaring a medical item for screening." That single phrase tells officers you understand the process. It shifts the entire interaction from suspicion to procedure. You're not asking permission, you're cooperating with protocol. For medical devices worn on your body, "I'm wearing a medical device. I'd like a visual inspection instead of removal, if possible." Most officers will accommodate this. For batteries, "These batteries are for my hearing aid." Keep it simple. One sentence, clear connection. For powders or supplements, "I have a powdered supplement for screening." Proactive disclosure beats scanner flags.
If an item is questioned and time is tight, can this be checked in my bag instead of removed? Not every airport allows it, but asking early creates options and shows you're reasonable. The biggest mistake older travelers make is staying silent, hoping to avoid attention. Silence doesn't protect you. Clarity does. These rules aren't new because TSA suddenly became stricter. They're new because the system changed quietly, and the cost of not noticing that change is higher than ever. This isn't about special treatment. It's about understanding rules that already exist but aren't explained unless you know how to ask. If this helped you see airports differently, share it with someone you travel with. And if you want to keep flying calmly and informed, the system isn't going to slow down for you. But once you understand it, you don't need it to.